Out of all the relationships in Gumball, there are couples that fans absolutely adore, and others they can't stand. From wholesome romances that make you feel all warm inside, to toxic disasters that should have never happened. Today, we're ranking every major Gumball couple, from most loved to most hated. Kicking things off with the relationship that everyone roots for, Gumball and Penny. And they finally become a couple in the episode The Shell, which is hands down one of the most emotional moments in the entire series. Gumball and Penny are acting at the final scene of their school play, Beauty and the Beast, and things are about to get awkward. Penny announces they should kiss, claiming she's improvising, which sends Gumball into a panic.
Then how come we're not exploding? We're in space! And why are we always in space when we're gonna kiss?
He tries to go for it, but moves way too fast and accidentally headbutts her instead. Smooth, real smooth. But this isn't just an embarrassing moment. It actually cracks Penny's shell right on her eye. She's freaking out because something is sparkling inside, and she quickly covers it up. They all realize they have to face Patrick, Penny's dad, who is not going to be happy about this. On the walk to her house, Gumball and Darwin ask what's under her shell, and Penny reveals that it's the real her, but her dad won't let anyone see it. Patrick shows up and immediately loses it when he sees the crack, straight up banning Gumball from ever seeing Penny again. Yikes. Later that night, Penny shows up at Gumball's window with devastating news. Her dad is moving her to another school. Gumball encourages her to just be herself, so Penny finally breaks out of her shell, transforming into this glowing, fairy-like creature with wings. Gumball is stunned and can't finish a sentence, which makes Penny think she's ugly. She starts shape-shifting into different creatures based on her emotions, and runs off before Gumball can tell her she looks extraordinary. Gumball chases Penny all over town as she keeps transforming, but Gumball tells her that her looks don't define who she is, just how she feels. Then he finally admits his true feelings and kisses her, which makes Penny transform back into her fairy form. The two embrace as everyone watches, with Richard pointing out how their story is literally just like the play they were doing. This episode is what made Gumball and Penny the most loved couple in the show. And at the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have Darwin and Jamie in the episode The Girlfriend, which is easily one of the most uncomfortable relationships in the show. It starts with Jamie barging into the school cafeteria, and everyone thinks she's after their food, but she rejects everything they offer. Alan shares his soup with Carmen, and Jamie gets confused why he would do that. Alan then tells her that she might just have an empty heart, which makes her freeze up and realize she needs a boyfriend. Later on the school bus, it explodes and everyone runs away except Darwin and Jamie. She turns to look at Darwin and smiles, which is terrifying. At home, Gumball is shocked that Darwin is letting Jamie be his girlfriend, but Darwin doesn't see what's wrong with that. In the locker room, Gumball tries to help by suggesting they repel Jamie with garlic, but she shows up, shoves Gumball in the locker, and threatens Darwin with serious consequences if he ignores her or breaks up with her. She gives Darwin a present, which turns out to be another present, and when perfume is revealed inside, she gets mad thinking Darwin is saying she smells bad and starts attacking Gumball's locker. Things escalate when Jamie decides to start dating Gumball too, terrorizing him everywhere.
Now give me your heart.
She corners him in the library and has an epiphany that love is earned, not taken. But when Darwin rushes in to save Gumball and accidentally repeats her epiphany, she interprets it as him insulting her intelligence and sucker punches him. Darwin ends up in the infirmary, with Gumball telling him he should have just said nothing. This is why Darwin and Jamie are one of the most hated couples. The entire relationship was built on fear, threats, and Darwin being held hostage. Now for a relationship the fans actually love. Darwin and Carrie officially became a couple in the drama, and it's one of the sweetest storylines in the show. The episode starts with Darwin eating with Carrie, and he notices she can't actually eat, so he lets her borrow his body. However, Carrie goes overboard and eats everything in sight, including some of the donut cup. They then go to the arcade, where Carrie uses telekinesis to help Darwin win, which he disapproves of at first, but they're clearly having a great time together. Things get complicated when Leslie and Masami convince Gumball that something is wrong with Darwin and Carrie's relationship. Doubt literally appears in Gumball's lunch and grows larger until it convinces him to spy on them.
See? I don't have...
Are you sure?
Gumball starts following them around and notices differences, like Carrie is 327 years old, she had a previous boyfriend, they like different music, and she could see demons, while Darwin can't. Gumball thinks all these things could tear them apart. Then Carrie bumps into Azrael, her ex-boyfriend, and they start cracking jokes and decide to hang out.
Oh, hey, Carrie.
Azrael!
So good to bump into you after all these years.
I know, right? What have you been up to?
Oh, the usual. Keeping it deceased and rocking out like a feast. Hey, we should hang out.
Gumball freaks out and tells Darwin, so they rush to the cemetery to find them. But when they arrive, Carrie straightens everything out and explains there's nothing going on. Back at school, Gumball apologizes and realizes what he's done. Darwin and Carrie forgive him, and Darwin points out that Leslie and Masami were the ones messing with Gumball's head. This relationship works because Darwin and Carrie genuinely care about each other despite their differences, making them one of the most loved couples in Gumball. But that age gap is crazy though. Another relationship the fans can't stand is Principal Brown and Miss Simeon, and The Wish shows exactly why. The episode starts with Principal Brown driving Miss Simeon to the edge of a cliff for a date. She's thrilled they're there, but he nervously explains he was actually trying to take them to the city dump. Miss Simeon doesn't care and asks him to say 3 romantic words to her, but Principal Brown can't say it.
Perfect evening to say those 3 little words to show how much you care about me.
Oh, 3 little words, hey? Heart breaks off.
At school, Principal Brown talks about how he can't tell Miss Simeon how he feels with Mr. Small and Mr. Cornel, who give him terrible advice about being a silent guy who doesn't need feelings or words.
Feelings? You don't need feelings. You're a guy. Feelings on guys are like elbows on a fish. They just get in the way.
When Miss Simeon storms in, demanding to know why he won't talk to her, Principal Brown stays silent, and she walks out upset. Gumball and Darwin accidentally bump into Miss Simeon, and she demands they take her box to the trash. They wish for her to be brought down to size and soften up, and a gnome grants their wishes. They return to find Miss Simeon's neck pillow on her chair, and thinks she's been transformed into it. Principal Brown finds out and thinks she's actually the pillow. Gumball and Darwin try to help him practice and say, "I love you," to win her back, but he keeps messing it up. Meanwhile, the real Miss Simeon is buying a one-way ticket out of town. The trio chases the neck pillow across town until they reach Miss Simeon's bus. Principal Brown finally says, "I love you," and the real Miss Simeon hears it. She leaves the bus and makes up with him. This is one of the most hated couples because watching them kiss is super gross, and they're both super annoying characters who are always giving Gumball detention for no reason. Well, there is a reason, but still. Free my boy Gumball. Speaking of Gumball, one of the most beloved couples in the entire show is Richard and Nicole Watterson, and The Choices proves exactly why fans love them so much. The episode begins on a chaotic night in the Watterson household as Nicole struggles to provide dinner for her family. The kids are impatient and disrespectful. Richard has no help with cooking, and everything catches on fire, with Darwin spraying Nicole with whipped cream. Nicole finally loses her temper, but from her perspective, time freezes, and she wonders how it all came to this. She quickly determines the root of the problem, the day she met Richard. The flashback opens with the young Nicole and her parents driving to a karate tournament. Her mother is chastising her for getting all A's, claiming she got an F for gender, while her father experiences road rage so bad that the engine flies out of the car. Left with only 5 minutes, Nicole has to run to her tournament through the park where she passes younger versions of Banana Bob, Harold, Mr. Small, and Sal Left Thumb. Nicole gets lost and finds Richard stuck in a tree log asking for help. She then starts imagining different futures where she made different choices, becoming a successful champion, but alone.
Thank heavens she's gone.
Marrying Banana Bob, but going insane from his constant singing.
Nicole, are you okay?
Or marrying Harold, who becomes verbally abusive.
You look better with the veil on.
So, how do you like the sushi? It took me hours.
It's cold.
Let me heat it up for you.
Is that hot enough for you? Is it hot enough?
She realizes there's no way to avoid meeting Richard and accepts her fate. This triggers a montage of happy memories together. Playing in the park, their awkward teenage years, her parents disapproving of Richard, Nicole leaving home after a huge argument, the two spending years together in a small apartment, and starting a family. After this emotional experience, Nicole realizes she's truly happy with her family and wouldn't trade her current situation for the world. This is why Richard and Nicole are one of the most loved couples. Their relationship is built on genuine love, and Richard was the first person who loved Nicole for who she was, not for how successful she could be. And now for one of the most toxic relationships in the show, Mr. and Mrs. Robinson. In The Wicked, the episode starts with Margaret Robinson feeding coffee and prune juice nuts to squirrels in the park, which makes them turn savage and attack everyone. When the donut cop asks who's responsible, Margaret blames Gumball and Darwin, getting them in trouble. As punishment, they're forced to clean up the trash as a community service. Gumball tells Darwin that Margaret is evil, but Darwin refuses to believe anyone is truly evil. Then Margaret proceeds to almost run over them while laughing. Darwin still denies she's evil and tries to prove there's good in her by tricking her into visiting a hospital nursery to return to her innocence. Instead, she switches the names of 2 babies, making their parents fight. Gumball and Darwin search Mr. Robinson's attic and find out about Margaret's past, only to discover she's always been evil, burning schools and ripping teddy bears to pieces. They try one last test where Darwin pretends to choke on a chocolate egg, hoping she'll help. Instead, Margaret eats the egg, spits out a toy car, and throws it into Darwin's mouth, causing him to actually choke. She just smiles and watches him suffocate. They decide to frame her for a crime at the mall, but she ends up stealing the Wattersons' car and driving recklessly through the building. When they finally catch her, she gives them her bandana and frames them instead. But then karma hits. A street light falls on her car. She swerves into a sign, gets blasted by a fire hydrant. Her car gets crushed by trucks. An oil puddle ignites and rockets her into the sky, where she gets hit by an airplane and finally lands, only to get run over by an ambulance. This couple is hated because their entire relationship is built on mutual bitterness, evilness, and chaos, making them one of the worst pairs in Gumball. On the flip side, we have Carmen and Alan, who are literally the most perfect couple in the show, which is exactly why fans love them. The episode starts in the cafeteria with Carmen and Alan baby talking and feeding each other. As Alan eats a noodle, Gumball gets grossed out while Darwin thinks it's cute. Gumball starts yelling at the couple that they're being too perfect, and other students agree, declaring they're getting sick of them. Gumball immediately regrets saying this. Later, Gumball apologizes to Carmen, who mistakes it for him wanting to reunite her with Alan. He awkwardly makes romantic advances on Carmen while Darwin distracts Penny by splashing her with a milkshake. A runaway basketball accidentally knocks Gumball's face onto Carmen's, and everyone is shocked. Alan, who's been watching the whole time, just floats away, sadly. Gumball meets Alan in the boys' restroom and asks him to knock him out to win Carmen back, but Alan refuses because he wishes the best for her. In class, the students start picking on Gumball for breaking them up. Masami whispers her plan to get Carmen jealous by dating Alan herself, which would reunite them. Gumball encourages Alan to move on, and Alan agrees to date Masami. However, the plan backfires when Carmen just breaks down crying instead of getting jealous. Masami reveals her true motive was to steal Alan for herself, and she transforms into a raging storm and rampages through the school.
No! You're mine!
Alan confronts Masami and declares his love for Carmen, disgusting Masami so much that she transforms back to normal. Alan and Carmen reunite as a couple. This relationship is love because they genuinely care about each other. Alan literally risked everything to be with Carmen, proving their love is real. And now for another relationship that absolutely nobody wanted. Masami and Darwin in The Pressure. The episode starts at Molly's treehouse where all the girls are watching the boys attempt a stunt that ends with Gumball crashing into a van. Masami says this is lame and suggests they kiss boys instead. When the other girls become confused, Masami asks if they have boyfriends. All the girls lie about having older boyfriends, with Carrie's boyfriend even having no teeth because he's so old. Meanwhile, the boys make a pals before gals pact and agree to stick together.
Right here, right now. Pals before gals.
Pals before gals!
Yeah. Okay.
When Masami is asked if she has a boyfriend, she lies and says it's Darwin. The next day at school, Masami tries to prove to the other girls that Darwin is her boyfriend by getting him to hold her notebook. Darwin holds it confusedly, making the other boys think they're in love. Darwin freaks out and jumps out a window to hide forever. At lunchtime, Darwin is hiding under the rails of the tray line because he's hungry. Gumball joins him and they put lunch trays over their eyes, claiming if you can't see them, they can't see you. They end up at Masami's table and she tells Darwin he's kissing her at the treehouse.
Well, before you so rudely interrupted us, we were talking about how Darwin is gonna kiss me in the treehouse. What?
Darwin starts glitching at the pool because Masami found him, and after breaking up with her, she starts crying. Feeling guilty, Darwin agrees to kiss her to make her stop. At the treehouse, all the girls admit their boyfriends aren't real. Gumball is about to kiss Penny when Banana Joe and Tobias chop down the tree. It falls and crushes them, but Gumball and Darwin both miss their intended targets and accidentally kiss each other instead. This relationship is hated because it was built entirely on lies, peer pressure, and Darwin being forced into something he never wanted. Now for a relationship that's actually wholesome. Granny JoJo and Louie. In The Signature, Louie delivers big news to Richard that he and JoJo are getting married. Richard grinds his teeth to hold back his outrage, which ignites a gas leak and causes an explosion. Richard declares he won't let Louie take away his mother and comes up with a plan to adopt Louie, giving him the power to forbid the marriage.
Dad, try adopt Louie.
No.
Dad,
No.
Dad, adopt Louie!
No! We won't let you become Louie's dad so you have the power to forbid his wedding.
Thanks. I had no idea where I was going with that.
At the table, Richard sneaks adoption papers on top of the wedding invites and Louis unwittingly signs them. Richard rips his shirt off, gloating that Louis is his son now, and cancels the wedding. But Louis gets payback by tricking Nicole into signing adoption papers, making her his daughter.
Aha! These adoption forms now make you my daughter. And if I'm not allowed to see Jojo, then I forbid you to see Richard.
The family spirals into chaos until the kids decide to contact Frankie to adopt Richard and fix everything. Frankie arrives and tricks them into giving him the house instead. The Wattersons rush to City Hall to get a marriage license before Frankie can take their home. They end up caught in a maze of red tape, but Frankie eventually removes the obstacles and lets them pass. Louis and Jojo officially get married, and Richard even gets Frankie to sign adoption papers. But to show just how much they love each other, in The Catfish, Gumball and Darwin create a fake profile called Muriel to help Louis make friends online. However, Louis thinks Muriel wants to meet in person, making Jojo believe he's cheating. She sets out to take down Muriel at the mall. Gumball and Darwin realize the profile picture is a real person and rush to protect her. Eventually, they explain the truth, and Darwin points out that Jojo has been too controlling.
None of this would have happened if Granny JoJo wasn't so controlling.
She realizes her mistakes and decides to let Louis have one friend, which ends up being Jojo herself online. This couple is love because despite their quirks, they genuinely care about each other and learn to grow together. But if you liked this video even a tiny bit, I'd appreciate it if you watched this video next.